I have been through abuse and I am so joyful. It is completely possible to have gone through the depths of hell and come out the other side and thrive. And I feel so passionate about sharing this with other people who have been in this situation. I feel like as women in 2024, I live in England, whatever society you live in, it's the same everywhere. We are already disempowered, right? We are already living in a society that keeps us small, that keeps us afraid, that keeps our power from us. So when you've been through abuse, which strips away your power, which strips away your self love and your self care, it is so easy to feel like you just live there now. You live in this space where you are a victim of the awful thing that happened to you and you can't thrive, you can't heal, you are stuck, you can't find financial freedom, you can't be excited about the world anymore. And there's almost this part in us that feels like we have to hold on to those feelings of this was awful. Poor me. And I mean, poor me in the least trite way you can imagine. You know, we want to look after ourselves. We want to surround ourselves with that kind of that love and that protection that we didn't feel we had when we were in the abusive situation. And this filters through to the way we feel about getting over it, getting through it, going through to the other side. I feel like having been through it 3 times, so I had an abusive childhood, which was very difficult and it's difficult to talk about. I talk about it differently now because my mum struggled a lot. And we are now getting close for the first time in my life. I'm nearly 45 and we are getting close again. And that has been a direct result of my own healing. There's not really anything that she's done differently. But I am coming to a place where I am so healed from it that I can see the reasons behind her behaviors. And I can see that actually what is important to me right now is that relationship to have with her now. So that's one experience. I then had a partner who was very abusive. And the beautiful thing that came out of that was my daughter, who's now 18 years old and is the light of my life. She is fantastic. And I wouldn't take that back. Would I take back the treatment? Of course. Do I wish I hadn't gone through it? Yes. But I still love life. And the third time was 4 years ago when I was in the most abusive relationship out of all of them for a much shorter space of time, probably around 20 months. And that honestly left me feeling like I might die. In fact, at one point in my journey, I put myself into a mental hospital because I thought I was going to kill myself because I was so wounded, so disempowered. I felt so vulnerable all of the time, and I couldn't get out of it. There was no out. He lived here in my home with my children. And when he would disempower me, he would then use that as a time to attack my children and just eroded my whole life away. If you've been through abuse, you know these things, you know how it is. People in your life get picked off so that you are isolated. But as women, we already come from this place of disempowerment. So we are already at a disadvantage. And I am not saying that abuse towards men doesn't happen or is less important, but I am a woman and I've experienced my life through the lens of a female. And that is where I can talk with absolute authority. So this is not diminishing the impact abuse has on men at all. I'm purely speaking from my heart as a woman who has experienced it throughout life. And then in my healing journey, I have I now feel very differently about it. And I had to make a conscious decision after I got rid of the last abusive situation because I had 2 children and I'd already got to the point where they had to know that I had been suicidal and put myself into a facility where I was for around, I think I was there 5 days or something, which was horrific, but it saved my life. And once I got out of that, I had no choice but to find a way through it. I had no choice but to find a way to be strong, to be happy, to reflect all of the things I wanted my children to strive for in life. And I knew I had to embody that. So I found a way. And through that, I see things so differently. When you go through abuse, we're given this dogma, this propaganda that, and society, the media that we consume as well, it makes us feel like that's the end. I went through abuse. It was awful. My life is ruined. The end. And again, I am not diminishing any of those things. I'm not diminishing that the abuse was awful, that you were disempowered, that you have no financial freedom, that you have no friends now, you don't know how to love yourself. These are all very real things. What I want to question and what I want to present to you is that does not need to be the end. It's a choice. If you stay in that mindset, that is a choice, because I promise you there is another way. You can heal, you can move through it, you can change your perspectives, you can learn how to love yourself, you can learn how to connect with people again, you can learn how to look for healthy relationships, you can learn how to set boundaries. All of the things that are keeping you small and scared and in pain, you can address them all systematically and you can move through it. And there is a whole other world. There is a whole life on the other side of abuse. There is a whole life for you of your choosing. We are powerful and we have the absolute power to decide what we want to experience. You can get to 65, 85, any year of age and decide this is how my life has been up till now. It's not going to be like that anymore. And you can decide where you want to go in life, what you want to achieve emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. It's all a game that we're playing in life. You can make that decision because on the other side of all this pain, there is the life of your dreams if you want to find it. And I'm passionate about sharing this with people because you can learn resilience and you can learn all of the skills you need to make yourself the person that you want to be, the person that will not allow abuse into your life again, to become the person that is strong, that is powerful, whatever it is that is important to you, you can achieve it. You know, Bill Hicks said, it's just a ride. This life, this human experience, is just a ride. And he said that people have come through this life, they've gone through it, they come back and they talk to us and they tell us, it's just a ride. It's just a ride. People have gone through this life experience and they come back as guides, as mentors, and they tell us, it's okay. It's just a ride. Don't be afraid, ever. And I feel that I am living that now with this experience. You can go through abuse and you can leave it in your past. It's just a blip. You don't have to live there now. I have made this video from the depths of my heart and I hope that it can help you. And I wish for you to have not only the best day you can possibly have, but also the hope and the knowledge that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve through the rest of your life, starting right now, starting with your next breath. If tomorrow is a bad day, you can decide at any point to make it a better day. As always, guys, have the best day.